What's up, beautiful nature family? I'm back with another video. And today I wanted to talk about basically the cause of disease and is disease actually the effect of a certain cause? Because many people think we're just supposed to get sick. When you get older, it's just normal. My thyroid gland shuts down, my parathyroid gland shuts down, or you name it. Having different problems with organs and glands in your body as you get older is considered normal. And even having colds and fevers several times per year is considered normal. And if you even ask the basic doctor, what is the cause of the common cold? And most people don't know. It's it's this, maybe a virus. You catch a cold, you catch a virus from someone, and then you catch a cold. And it's actually our bodies are self-healing, and whatever doesn't belong there, it will remove. So colds, fevers are actually the results of something we do, which is what most people miss. And when you go to the doctor, everything gets based on a type of treatment, treating symptoms, instead of going to the root cause. Your disease is actually the cause of something you're doing on a regular basis, something you're eating, some toxicity, like your exposure to lots of chloride or whatever. There's even genetic weaknesses from your parents' diets and stuff like that. But then in this video, I just want to break down some biochemistry a little bit quick, and just the basics of biochemistry, and that we're actually getting sick because of the results of our actions. Which sounds pretty logical, but in today's day and age, that's say that to someone and when they're really sick or something, and they're in the wrong place, that's outrageous and you're offending them. But it's when we break it down, your whole body is made out of cells. Your tissue, your skeleton system, your skeleton, your nerves, your muscles, all of it, your organs, glands, all made out of cells. And instead of going to a cellular level where we just cleanse the cells and oxygenate the cells, we try to superficially treat things with, for example, petroleum-based big pharma synthetic chemicals, which is actually drugs, but we call them medicine in this age. And all medicines actually come from nature. God made nature. God is great. God is the biggest. God is amazing, and did not create us to be sick. And now I'm just gonna break this down in a simple way. But if you're interested in checking it out more, I would truly recommend to study Dr. Sebi or ND Robert Morse. I can link his website too, and maybe his book on Amazon, the Detox Miracle Source Book, where they explain in real scientific method biochemistry, the cause of disease, inflammation, cancer, all of it. And it's basically the cause of disease is the same in most cases, or whatever things that are causing it. When you're sick, it's always your cells are being deprived of oxygen, and the level of how deprived they are of oxygen depends how much mucus you have around your cells. And that comes from your mucous membrane being compromised. And your mucous membranes is responsible also for, example, if you eat food that has acidic minerals. So when your hydrochloric acid digests the food, it basically can be on two sides of chemistry. There's only two sides of chemistry: alkaline and acidic. And then there's different scales of that, and the pH scale of course. But 7 is neutral, and above 7.4 is alkaline. And basically anything above 7 is pretty good for you. It will not have a negative effect on your body. And sometimes acid minerals aren't the worst either, but when you eat 80% acidic diet with acid forming foods, acid forming minerals, like when your body digests the food, it can have the majority, and you count like, is it 80%, is it over 80% alkaline minerals, then it will be alkaline forming for your body. If the mineral composition is 80% or more acidic, it will have an acidic reaction for your tissue, for your body, for everything. And acidity is really hot. It burns like acids. They burn your skin off if you have some strong acid and you spill it on your skin. And I'm not talking about the magic molecule that's called that. I'm talking about the chemistry. And it's so simple, and since our body is self-healing, when it's having this burning reaction, which also creates inflammation and many other things, our body sends mucus. And this mucus is a super alkaline liquid in our body, like super high on the pH scale. I don't remember the exact thing by heart. And that mucus calms down the fire. So let's say the acid forming minerals like chloride and fluoride, and I don't remember them all in my brain like that, but you can check this stuff out pretty easily. Like, this is common knowledge, even if people don't know the depth of it. The two sides of chemistry is common knowledge. And then it cools down this fire. But then if it does that too much, and it's producing more mucus, more and more mucus, then your body and your lymphatic system or your kidneys are able to filter out the acid waste through your elimination processes like sweat, peeing, and pooping. Then it becomes acidiosis. You get too much acidity in your body. And you get, first of all, you also get clogged up from undigested food, because most really acidic foods take a long time to digest. And we put in new food before we even finished digesting the food. So anyway, when the mucous membrane gets compromised and you're eating a majority acid-forming diet, this mucus will get overproduced in your body and it will go around the cell's wall. And the more it does that, the less and less oxygen your cells will get. And if it goes under a certain percent, the cells will start dying and eating like excess fuel for it to survive and eat like things around it. And not to go too deep into that, if you really want to know, like, study the book. But it's so simple, like, most, not all, but if you switch to a primarily raw diet, or even with cooked food, and you switch to like primarily just organic whole foods, you will have an alkaline reaction in your body if it's fruits, vegetables, and try to stay away from GMO food, genetically modified food, because that's also like, hybrids are kind of okay, especially if they're just like cross-pollinated. And then it's just the same type of species of plants that are cross-pollinated, and you make a new little baby of a plant, which is not that bad. But GMO food, like almost all soy, all corn, cotton, something more that I'm not getting on the top of my dome right now, like maybe most wheat, are genetically modified. And genetically modified literally means that they've changed the genome they've changed the DNA structure of the plant. And people can be like, how did they do that? And it's like, it's kind of hard to explain exactly how they do it, but they literally take like petri dishes or whatever they're called, like when you do spores with mushrooms, and they take like a bacteria. And in that bacteria also has a DNA strand, and they take parts of the DNA, like let's say this bacteria has a part of the DNA that bugs really don't like. So they literally like cut out that part of the DNA, and then through a process, it also is called like a gene gun and stuff, then they shoot these things into seeds and genetically modify the DNA structure of foods. And if you go to like FDA's website and stuff, they're like, this causes no harms, and like almost all food in like 95% of all animals in America that are fed with genetically modified crops. And they're like, this does not make the animal GMO. And it's like, okay, you are not what you eat. No. That cannot seem to be possible. Like, what you eat, don't let your food be medicine. You are not what you eat, is what the FDA is saying. But anyway, to break it down in simple words, all disease is basically your cells lacking oxygen. And if you oxygenate your cells, oxygen is the real medicine. And it sounds so simple. We got it here. And you can make your body more alkaline by just breath holds and pranayama, breathing techniques and stuff like that. But it's primarily from your diet. And of course it's your thinking, so you're not in fear and stuff like that, so you're relaxed and grateful. Because emotions can also have acidic reactions in our body and thinking. But when we switch to alkaline forming foods that are easy to digest, especially if we have a big disease, it's even more important to fast and eat more raw fruits and vegetables. Because whatever disease you really have, if you like first switch over to like maybe do 1 week raw fruits and vegetables, so you do like a salad a day, maybe a few bananas and a watermelon or some melon, do some berries, avocados, and do that for a week or 2 or however long you can, like the longer the greater. And then first your body will begin a detoxification process. And that detoxification process is your self-healing body that is always doing all the time. But our bodies are so clogged up and there's so much excess waste, so that detoxification process usually just shows up like 1, 2, 3 times a year for a relatively healthy person. And it comes with colds and flus and fevers. And that's actually your self-healing body that loves you and always wants you best. God's beautiful image, God's temple, that's trying to remove what doesn't belong in the body, like excess mucus. And it's so simple that literally, like, if we start breathing deep, eating things that our biology is made to eat, like literally we're like gorillas, we're supposed to eat the things. We don't have claws, we don't have big fang teeth, we're literally, our biology is very similar to gorillas. And then we're supposed to eat fruits and vegetables, the things we can directly pick in nature, like shoop, and just eat. And when we switch to a primarily raw diet, and if you have a really serious illness, I would recommend to, as quick as possible, go on to a fully raw diet, at least for a while, to start this detoxification process. And in the beginning, when you do that, it might seem like you get more sick, because now your body is getting all the fuel that it needs, all the minerals, all the hydration, all the oxygen, and it's getting the right fuel to start functioning optimally. And then it will start to remove excess waste, which is basically the cause of disease. All this mucus and acid byproducts from cells breathing and eating and all that gets clogged up in your lymphatic system and in your colon. Like, so when we start cleansing, we start detoxing, and we start removing this clogged up things in our body, we can literally achieve cellular regeneration, tissue regeneration even. It's scientifically proven for anyone who loves science, because if you're just a spiritual soul and you're in the moment and you love life, then it's almost obvious that like the trees the roots, the barks, the vegetables are here for us, and it's our natural food. But even in science, it's been proven, in the scientific method, not theories. So get on the alkaline side of chemistry and start detoxing, start getting that mucus out. And I've seen it in both friends and people I've helped and myself cure many diseases, or reverse many diseases. Babylon don't like the word cure. And it's all possible. What God made for us is possible to reverse any disease. With the leaves, with the barks, with the roots, with herbal infusions. And if you, for example, switch to a more raw diet, or completely raw, depending on how serious your illness is, and then you put in some fasts too, so you really empty out your colon, and you start drinking herbal infusions. I usually call them herbal teas, but they're not really teas, because teas are more with caffeine. And you quit caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, which is all acid forming compounds, and you start cleansing and detoxing. Then the first 6 weeks, maybe, depending on how much toxicity and waste you have in your body, lots of mucus will come out. Maybe first you will get really sick, depending on if you're eating McDonald's every day and stuff and you're really big. Then take it slow, because a lot will come out, and have like a transition period. But if you're just like a pretty healthy person, but you have some health issues in general, but in general, you're not that bad. You exercise, you do stuff, you work out or whatever. You jog, something like that. You practice a sport. And you're just sick of being sick and not understanding why. Then it's really easy to just do a fast, do like a 5-day fast, 3-day fast, however long you can, and see that we're full of excess waste. Like our colons, or like anyone's bellies are sticking out like this. That's just feces, pus, and unprocessed food laying around in your colon. And when you start getting that out through fasting or raw foods, which is basically raw foods, and fruits and vegetables are usually, if you're not eating the starchy ones, are usually around 60, 70, 80% water. And those fruits and vegetables take a really short time for your body to digest. So when you eat them, your body doesn't have unprocessed food. So let's say I eat a watermelon, it just takes an hour or 2 or 3 or 4 for my body maximum to process. And then the next time I eat, that will be fully digested. But if we keep filling the colon up more and more and more with unprocessed food, we'll also start clogging up many parts of our body with mucus, and our lymphatic system will start not being able to remove the excess waste of our cells breathing, and like lactic acid from muscles and stuff like that, because acids are the byproduct of your body's functions. For example, not only like you have hydrochloric acid, there's exceptions too, but like, for example, when your cells breathe and poop, the waste from cells is an acidic waste, and it goes out in your lymphatic system, and you sweat it out, you pee it out, or you sneeze it out, basically, in simple terms, or you maybe even poop it out. That's your elimination processes. And when you start doing these things and start understanding that everything we need is in nature, and if you eat the foods and drink the roots and the barks and the leaves and the flowers that God made for us, you can live in total health and freedom, and your body will not be getting sick all the time. And you will not only, when you get older, you also won't be sick all the time. Your organs won't start shutting down. You can actually live in optimal health until you get old and even die. So I just want to recommend you all that, like, if you're really interested in this, instead of just, because I will read directly from the book also, so you get the actual full biochemistry, because sometimes I have a whole understanding of it, but sometimes it's really scientific words that I don't fully remember right now, like. And for that I will link the Robert Morse book in the description. So basically, if we remove from our diets mostly carbonic acid and uric acid and lactic acid, and carbonic acid being starchy foods like potatoes, carrots, and stuff like that, and those are actually hybrid foods. Most things that God made aren't full of starch. There's a few grains that got a little bit of starch in it, like quinoa and stuff like that, but it doesn't have a strong reaction like the really hybrid foods does. So if you got a disease, remove carbonic acid, uric acid, and lactic acid, dairy, uric acid, meat, from your diet, and start switching to more natural foods that nature made, and stay away from the genetically modified foods. And even like in the beginning, if you got some serious disease, maybe even stay away from the hybrid foods that contain starch, which is carbonic acid. But if you're in general a healthy person, it's not as urgent, because your body doesn't need to eat 100% alkaline food. Like 80% alkaline foods is a good balance for your body to thrive and be in optimal health. But if you have like lung cancer or some type of really chronic disease like MS, something that's killing you basically, and Babylon doesn't really know how to cure it, then I would truly recommend to, as quick as possible, get on 100% fruits, or at least raw vegan fruits and vegetables, and drink lots of herbal infusions with the essential minerals, and different herbs focus on different glands and organs, and depending on what disease it is, to clear out mucus from those places or help your kidneys start filtering. And it's quite simple once you start breaking it down. Like, God is simple. We get into the present moment, we get out of our heads. It's like nature, God made it easy for us. We just live in an artificial society, eating artificial food, processed foods, full of things made in laboratories that don't belong in our body. And then we're wondering why our bodies are breaking down when we're putting in the wrong fuel into it. And not to mention pesticides and everything like that. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you all, like, we found the cure. Humans already found the cure for all diseases on the planet. We found how to reverse disease naturally in biochemistry. Like, it's called naturopath, and or naturopathy. Basically, a nature doctor. And I just wanted to share that. I shared it a little bit in one video called Nature versus Big Pharma. But I just wanted to, God bless you, Ital is vital, and focus on alkaline forming foods that are easy for your body to digest. And you will start feeling more and more alive, especially after the 6-week period of detoxification, when everything that doesn't belong in you starts coming out. And that's going to be a great feeling once you start leaving. You're going to start feeling really alive more and more every day. So, I wish you all the health, all the blessings, and a life full of love and God's presence, and a beautiful day or night. Thank you for watching, and one love, everything is one. Be here now. Leave your mind alone. Your mind is fine, just leave it. Woo away. It all gets accomplished while I relax. And I am that I am. And so are you. You are that you are. Thank you for watching. See you later.